The scream tore through the air like a jagged blade, cutting straight into my spine. I was only 3 steps from the front door when I heard it. My daughter's voice, high-pitched and broken with terror. "Daddy, help." The grocery bag slipped from my hand. Eggs smashed against the floor, yolk pooling beneath broken shells. Glass pierced through apples, splinters flying. None of it mattered. I slammed the door open with my shoulder, nearly ripping it off the hinges. There he was, towering over her, his hand knotted in her hair, yanking her backward as she struggled. Her small fists flailed, fighting him. His other hand, God, was gripping her throat. Emily's face had turned crimson. I froze. Just for a moment. Not from fear. From recognition. Because in that instant, I saw what I'd spent 38 years trying to deny, the man I'd spent my life avoiding. My father. And in that moment, I knew exactly what needed to happen. He wasn't always this monster. Once, in the eyes of a naive boy, he seemed larger than life. Confident, charming, able to command a room with a whisper. But beneath the charisma was a hunger for power that always outweighed his capacity for love. My brother Jason had always been his favorite. The golden boy. Varsity quarterback, perpetual C student, the kind of smile that seemed to melt away our mother's disappointment. Me? I was the quiet one. Straight A student. Built my future brick by brick. I bought my apartment in full at 32, a bright corner unit kissed by morning sunlight and protected by nighttime silence. Then the accident happened. The train crash that took my wife's life. I didn't fall apart publicly. I crumbled inwardly. Emily was 6. Too young to understand the weight of grief, only the hollow that loss leaves behind. I clung to her. She became everything. 2 months after the funeral, my father came to visit, with Jason beside him. "We need to talk," he said, like this was some kind of merger meeting. They sat across from me at the dining table I hadn't touched since she died. Then he said it. "I think it's time you sign this apartment over to your brother." No shame. No hesitation. "Come again." I said. Jason smiled like it had all been rehearsed. "You're single now. Just you and the kid. You don't need a place this big. Me and my fiancé could use the space." I laughed. An honest laugh, because for a second I thought he was joking. He wasn't. "No," I said. My father's expression shifted, just slightly. "You owe this family." That was the moment I saw the threat behind his words. "I don't owe anyone a damn thing," I told him. "Now get out." He stood slowly. Leaned in so close I could still smell his cologne. Same brand from when I was a kid. It reeked of manipulation. "You'll regret this," he hissed. 3 days later, I went to the store. Just 20 minutes. That's all I thought it would be. I should never have left her alone. He had a key. Of course he did. Probably made a copy years ago, back when I was still naive enough to believe that his involvement in my life came from love and not control. He let himself in. Demanded that Emily tell him where I kept the deed. She refused. My brave girl, a reflection of her mother. So he retaliated. The second I walked in and saw his hands on her, something snapped. I didn't shout. I didn't charge. I told him to release her. My voice was cold. Controlled. Something in my tone must have unsettled him, because he did. Emily ran to her room. He laughed. "You made her weak," he sneered. I stepped toward him. "You just made the worst mistake of your life." He stormed out, hurling threats, hurling curses, filled with the arrogance of a man who believed he still held the leash. What he didn't know was that I had installed cameras 6 months earlier. After the first time he raised his voice at Emily and I saw her flinch, I'd taken precautions. He had no idea the entire encounter, his violence, his words, was recorded in crisp 4K. He didn't know that I had friends in quiet, powerful places. The kind of people who make things happen without noise. It took weeks to prepare. First, I compiled the footage. Unedited. Every frame of his cruelty preserved. Then, I consulted an old friend, now a licensed child psychologist. She evaluated Emily, documented the bruises, the nightmares, the emotional scars. Next came the lawyer. Not flashy. Precise. We prepared a case: assault, child endangerment, attempted coercion, and long-standing emotional abuse. But I wasn't finished. Jason's wedding was approaching. A lavish celebration, paid for, of course, by my father. At the rehearsal dinner, I quietly rented a private room at the same venue. I invited a select group: my father's business associates, his pastor, Jason's future in-laws. A hand-picked audience. Then, without introduction, I played the video. Silence at first. Then Emily's scream filled the room. Gasps. One woman clutched her mouth. Jason stood. My father turned pale. "I'm pressing charges tomorrow," I said calmly, like reciting the weather. "The footage is already in the hands of the authorities." My father tried to spin it to deny, but I lifted the documentation. Every word backed by evidence. "And just so you know," I turned to Jason, "your loan application was denied. Someone submitted an anonymous tip about your tax history. You're welcome." His mouth fell open. He hadn't suspected I knew. I always knew. I simply waited. Waited for the moment it mattered. The legal process was swift. The video circulated among professionals. My father's reputation dissolved. Investors pulled out. His home was vandalized, though not by me. Karma, when steered gently, has flawless aim. Jason's fiancée left him within 2 weeks. Took the dog and half his savings. Emily started therapy. She has a lock on her door now. I changed the apartment locks, too. The deed remains in my name. People sometimes ask if I regret not acting sooner. I don't. Because justice isn't about anger. It's about timing. Now, when I watch Emily sleep peacefully in the room her mother once decorated, I feel no guilt, only certainty. My father tried to take my home. Instead, I took his. His pride. His legacy. His illusion of power. One video. One camera. One carefully orchestrated plan. He taught me power. He just never expected I'd use it better than he ever did.